Hi, Casin, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Sorry about that. And also, sorry about the appearance here. I'm heading out to do a soccer coach for the little guys. But I wanted to reach out to you as quickly as I could to show you what I have in mind as a partnership. Um, so I built this site that's called Win My Vote, and it's very voter centric, and it's really to connect, you know, all of the advocacy that a lot of groups do with me actually voting or taking notes or marking my ballot, because I've been around politics long enough to know that there's great rallies, there's great movements, people get excited, and then a couple of weeks go by and they head to the ballot box and they forget that candidate's name that's running down ballot somewhere that the veterans loved, and before you know it, you're getting 50% turnout of the vote, and of the 50%, you're getting 25% of those that are going down ballot to state senate, state assembly, school board, those types of things. It's just that there's just a big black hole between the rally that they went to 3 weeks ago and them actually casting their vote. So I built this so that it'd be really easy to manage your vote, so that you could look at candidates, and if you like them, you can favorite them, and then on the day of the election, you get a reminder, and there it is on your phone. You can scroll through it. So I wanted to show you real quickly. I just grabbed this, one of your candidates that you guys are endorsing, Ron Santos, here, and sort of how it works. So you'd click here, and I would look at Ron's profile here. I could learn a little bit about him.
Have you always told the truth?
I've always tried to.
Hillary Clinton, she thinks she's above the law. She's not. All public officials, including...
And I can say, great, I can see some of his latest tweets here. And as far as endorsements, I want to see the groups and organizations that endorse him, versus his candidate. Versus his opponent. So the way that would work, right, is that I would form a, you would go up, you would sign up as a group, and I just did a little demo one here for you guys. So find it here. There we go. So you would have here, and then you can change out your photo. You can do whatever you want there. Put in your Facebook page if you guys have one. As far as volunteering, you can just put a URL right back to your website, so that if people want to volunteer, they just click on that button and it goes right to your website. Same with sending you a message, and same with donating. If you have those set up, you can easily just send it to the donation page. Here, you just put the video in there from the YouTube share URL. That you can put in there, and I'll just show you real quickly. So this is the one about Ron Santos. So we'll use this actually for both. So I'll just click on that. That's a cut and paste. You put it in there, and bam, now you have it in here. And
Congressman DeSantis is himself.
The Twitter feed right here. I'm not sure of your guys' Twitter feed, but you can just put it right in there, and then it will paste right in there. And then as far as making endorsements, right? So here I am on the group page, and I want to make endorsements. So with this, the presidential ones are easy, but as far as candidates, I want to make one for Ron, let's say in Florida. So I choose Florida. Here I start typing his name. I see the name that I've been mispronouncing. It's DeSantos. Sorry about that. And as my group, I want to do that. I want to make a video endorsement. So I click that, and then I just publish the endorsement, and that's it. And now, as a voter, switch hats here for a second. And now, as a voter, right, in Florida, I'm gonna see my ballot. I'll look at all the candidates, and I'll go down and I'll say, okay, it's time for me to review this race here. This guy Ron, and oh look, here he is endorsed by concerned veterans for America. I can click on that, and then I can watch your
Congressman DeSantis served at Guantanamo Bay. He was elected to Congress in 2000. So with need this help, who would be okay with them. To me, that is a scandal of immense proportions. So in your opinion,
and obviously this one is more about him, but this could be an opportunity for you guys to directly talk to your membership and say, these are the reasons that we are endorsing Ron for this position. And then I can say, you know what, that's great, and I favorite Ron. And when I go back to my ballot, you'll see his nameplate has turned green here. He's now in the first position, and I'm done with that race. And I can print out my favorites. I can look at just my favorites. I'll get reminders saying things like, hey, this is the last week to register to vote. This is the last week to register to vote by mail, vote absentee. Early voting has started 5 days before the election, 2 days, that kind of stuff. We'll send reminders out. And then with that, I can click here and say, oh, type my address in, and I can find my polling place. Now, right now, they're not assigned. They get assigned about 5 weeks before the election, so it should be coming up pretty quickly. But with that, I'll get a nice little Google map here with directions and everything, and that is part of my printout that I can then print out and just go to the polls, and I can just essentially take dictation on all the candidates. So it's really a connection between how I want to vote, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks before the election, and actually me heading to the polling place and being able to access, all of my favorites and the people that I'm voting for, as well as, propositions and measures and that type of stuff. It's the same way that it works there for endorsements. And I'll just show you real quick. Here in San Francisco, this is when someone signs up, this is what they do. They just say, yep, I'm in those districts, and that's my school district, and they're done, and that's what builds their ballot. And you can see here these little question marks here. If there's any issues about what district that you're in, we give them resources to make sure that they're actually in those districts. So here in California, right, we're seeing the same, and it's a little slow just because of the video capture. It's not the site. The site's fast as anything. So here, it's the same thing, but this will give you a good example of, I click on a proposition and I can see leading arguments for the proposition and leading arguments against it. And again, these are the groups and organizations that I follow. So if I follow your group, your guys' video will be right here for yes on.
It wasn't that long ago. Teachers laid off. Class sizes increased.
And I can say great. And so they all start undecided, right? So I can either say yep, or I can say no. And just for purposes of this demo, I'll change it to no. And when I go back to my ballot, and I can look at all the other ones just straight from here. When I go back to my ballot, you can see now that Proposition 55 is very prominent in red, and this is just a demo ballot, and it looks like there's only one person, or actually the way it works out is less than one person that's no right now for that proposition. And I think it takes 30 seconds to a minute, so I won't keep you long on this video. But it then refreshes. Let's see if it'll happen now. Now, yeah, so I think it takes about a minute or so before it'll refresh and then count me as a percentage. So this is a nice feature where you can actually see, how your proposition's doing with the voters out there, and you'll see these percentages here, are again your candidate on the ballot. So you're supporting a candidate, you send it out to your members, they sign up, it's all free. And they favorite the candidate, and then you watch him lead the race and move to the front, and you can really then measure the effect of saying, look, this is great, everyone's excited, now mark your ballots. That's the final step that we have to do to make sure that we don't get these 50% turnout rates, which is crazy. Anyway, hope that helps, and thanks a lot. Would love to talk with you. Mornings are always good for me, and unfortunately sometimes on the weekend I'm around too. But would love to talk with you about sort of a couple of tricks of the trade of building pages and endorsing people, and I'd be happy to walk you through all of that stuff. Thanks, bye.